So Jason, our guest that was on, Jason Lyle, has texted me back, and we can call him because if you didn't hear our episode last week with Jason Lyle, former minister, runs an organization called AIR, Adventures in Recovery. And Jason has turned around things in his own life, and his calling is helping other people who have experienced PTSD, severe trauma, drug addiction, which some of the things he's dealt with himself. And we're going to get him on because Ben's brother, Nick, listened to the episode last week and is inspired, and we want to try to connect these two. So,
absolutely.
And you'll get to hear maybe a little bit about Nick's story if you have not. So hold on 1 second.
What's up, Killa?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, Jason, what's up, man?
Hey, man, doing good. How about you guys?
I'm doing all right. Hold on 1 second, sir.
All right.
Oh, there you are.
There you
I
are.
had you in one damn ear. So, in all transparency, we are recording right now. So, once again,
Okay.
Jason, you are on the ManFUzed
You're on the
ManFUzed podcast.
All right.
So, it was really cool this morning when Ben and I were talking, and, you know, we still have an episode that's going to be released tomorrow. I don't know if you've listened to any of them.
Yeah, I've heard both of them.
What do you think so far?
Great job, man. I think it's great.
Awesome. Well, Ben, so we didn't get to talk about it when we spoke to you. So Ben sends me this text message this morning. Now, Ben is one of 3 kids. His parents are still married, comes from an awesome upbringing. His brother, his sister, super fucking cool. His brother reaches out to Ben this morning after hearing just the 2 parts of our episode together. And Ben, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, Nick, my brother, reached out to me this morning, and he was super inspired by our episode and really everything that you're doing, man. And Nick is doing really, really well right now. He's in incredible shape. He spends a lot of time out in the woods, but he had some issues with addiction years ago, and it got pretty bad.
Like he flatlined.
Yeah, he did,
Yeah.
but he was brought back, and you know, he's a champion, man. He's been rocking it, and he's doing a great job, but he really wants to get together with you and go on one of the AIR adventures. I think he signed up for one earlier.
Yeah, man. We've been emailing this morning. Yeah, he's already shot me an email.
Oh, okay.
That's
so
cool.
Nicholas Heidenreich.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
That's him, yeah.
That's incredible. So, you know, we just wanted to try to connect you guys, but it sounds like you're already connected.
Yeah. We're going to get him signed up for one of the fall trips, and
That's
man,
awesome.
It's awesome.
Okay.
He shared a little bit about his story, and man, listen, it's just there's a new way of looking at addiction.
Yeah.
And it's not just AA and NA and SA.
Right.
It's a holistic approach, because we're starting to realize now that the addiction is nothing but a symptom of a larger problem. And if we don't deal with the larger problem, the symptom's not going anywhere. So
Right.
when people hear these things, you know, it just speaks to their heart. And I'm glad it does, because it speaks to mine too.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
well,
And Nick's an incredible guy. And, you know, I don't know how you're looking to potentially expand this thing, but I can tell you that he, especially when it comes to adventure and doing those kinds of things, he could be an incredible asset for your organization.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that, you know, because I didn't know that he had reached out, but Ben was like, wanted to try to connect, and apparently he did reach out, and your response time is pretty fast to
That's
people
awesome.
that are, you know, reaching out to you, which says a lot also, whether you can get them in on the next or not. The simple fact that, you know, you're responding, because, you know, I would think that for some people, Nick is in a healthy place right now for the most part. But I would imagine some people that have heard our episode or that run across you might not be in a healthy space at this moment. And to reach out and to take that leap to make yourself, it's almost like you said, kind of forcing yourself to choose to get into the cold water, you know, but almost forcing yourself, if it's not court mandated and you're doing it on your own will, to go, hey, I want to take this step. And even to reach out to you has to be maybe something that needs to be, you know, acknowledged. And so if there's no response back, you know, and I'm not saying this was ever you, but I would imagine, you know, shit, I reach out to people sometimes and they don't fucking get back to me. So I would imagine if someone takes a leap like this to try to do something like this, to seek help, and they don't get a response quickly, that could be a bummer and a
Yeah, we're pretty quick on response time, and usually if somebody's in triage, we just make a special exception. And I've even taken guys out, just the two of us, for a couple of days before, just to kind of get them started. If somebody's 24, 48 hours and they're trying to hold on to sobriety, as long as they're not detoxing from opiates, then I'll take them. I've taken guys out that were shooting meth 2 weeks before, and we just drop everything we're doing, throw some packs in the truck, and head out into the mountains. And so we try, because you're right. I mean, when somebody is being vulnerable enough to get on an email or get on the internet and send a message, and all of the requests online come straight to my email, which comes straight to my phone. So
well, that's why the response was good.
Out of town, I don't miss them.
That's great, man, and that's really good to know. And for anybody listening, once again, you need to check out Jason Lyle, our episode from last week, and his organization is AIR, but it's Adventures in Recovery, but it's the URL again off the top of my head is what, Jason?
recoveryadventures.org.
Right. Someone bought AIR, so that's why it doesn't correlate exactly, all right? We're trying to make enough money, and so we could buy AIR back. That would be nice, right? We want to buy AIR back for Jason, so it all syncs the fuck up.
That'd be awesome.
Man, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. That's great. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you guys have opened a dialogue, and I'm excited to hear about Nick. If he does go on this fall trip, I'd love to have maybe you and him on. Maybe we do an episode around that to where, your brother. We haven't even had Ben's brother on yet.
We should get him on.
We should, but I think waiting for this is a good way to segue him into a segment, I believe. Thank you so much, Jason, and I'll hook you up with the episode link tomorrow morning. You're a great guy. You're doing great things, and we were honored to have you on, man.
I'm honored to be on. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
See you.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. The fact that he is responding and they've already opened dialogue, that's great.
It's amazing,
and
man.
he's going to get him in on the fall trip. But I didn't think about that until, we brought that scenario up. It's like for you to admit you are powerless in whichever way, and it doesn't have to be from a drug. It could be from whatever, your mental state.
Yeah.
And to actually go and reach out, to only get silence back would be devastating.
It'd be devastating.
Like it could be. I mean, it could be the difference between life and death.
Well,
you hear about it.
It would affirm what you think already, that nobody cares about you, that you're a piece of shit, that nobody really cares. People just say they do.
You're reaching out for help and no one's helping.
And no one helps, just like they never have. And that's exactly why you don't care.
And that's really cool to hear Jason say that. He said sometimes, if it's a serious thing, like they'll drop what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And just pack up for 2 days and take someone out.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a true sacrifice of your time. And I know he doesn't look at it as a sacrifice, but, when you're weighing your time with your friends and your family, you are sacrificing something to be doing to helping someone else.
Yeah, man, and a lot of what he talks about is very intriguing to me because, I've had a lot of addiction issues and things in my life as well, and I think the point is that everybody does. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're all addicted.
We all have something going on, which is pointing to really a larger issue, and finding out what that is very difficult.
Well, it's crazy because anything you do in excess is an addiction. Caffeine.
Yeah.
I mean, porn, rom-coms, drugs,
right.
I mean, food, I mean, exercise,
That's right.
I mean, any of it. So basically your whole life, I mean, any routine that you develop, which, you do something for 21 days, they call it a habit.
Right.
That's how long it takes to break or make a habit.
Right.
So it's like you're constantly trying to govern everything that you are consuming visually, audibly, putting in your mouth. I mean, anything to an extent to where it's technically not called an addiction.
Yeah.
To where it doesn't take control, where you can't say, I don't need that. But at some point, you're constantly trying to be like, I'm not going to do that today because I don't want to do it so many days in a row.
Right.
And it could be eating a fruit. I mean, it could be anything. So it's like we're all addicted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's so much, there's so much.
Well, it's important too because a lot of people get a stigma placed on them when they say if someone was to OD on Coke, or something, you know what I'm saying? Or you had a cocaine addiction, right? Then all of a sudden, that's worse than being a pothead. And maybe that's worse than being an alcoholic. And then maybe that's worse than just having a drink every weekend. So there's like levels to how bad off you are in society. You know what I mean? Based on your substance of choice, which is complete bullshit, by the way, because alcohol is really the worst of them all.
Right. So it also, I think, crosses a line when whatever you're doing affects your ability to function.
Sure.
So, I mean, if you're drinking, having a drink every day,
yeah.
and I mean, someone might say you're addicted, but if you're functioning and you're handling all the things in your life, you're spending time with family, your finances are okay, you're still maintaining a job, it's like when you get to that extreme to where you're not paying your bills, you're not living up to what you have promised.
Right.
Whether it be financially, relationship-wise, job-wise, that's when you are no longer functioning. So that's when the red flags come off, and that's when you're like, I'm powerless.
Yeah.
Because you can't get out of that cycle.
Right.
And now you're no longer functioning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Basically 90, I don't know what the percentage of how many people who are officially, non-functioning addicts to whatever degree, whether it be porn, food, whatever it is, 90% of us are functioning addicts in whatever way.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
We are maintaining.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the United States is obese, and that's normal. I mean, I'm freaking 40 pounds overweight. I'm considered to be morbidly obese. If you looked at me, would you say I'm morbidly obese?
No.
Yeah, but I am considered to be that.
You're thick.
So my point is that there's a standard. The standard has been stretched. Now we say, it's okay to be like 100 pounds overweight. You can still be healthy and be 100 pounds overweight, or you can still...
That's for your doctor to decide, I guess, or
Sure, but it's not true. You know what I mean? Like, your body's not made for that. Your heart's not made for that. Sure, you can still be happy and you can love yourself and all those kinds of things. Sure, great. Good for you. But you can't say it's healthy. I mean, I can't sit here across from you right now and say, hey, you know what, Kaylee? If I was to lose 40 pounds, that'd be pretty bad for me. You know what I'm saying?
I think that'd be bad for my overall existence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
But with your 40 pounds that you have, you do experience some physical and mental issues that you might not have from if the 40 pounds didn't exist.
Absolutely, 100%. And so being clear about that, I think, is very important, because somebody's experience is just as great as anyone else's experience. It's all relative. And so if somebody, I think a big problem for a lot of people who have addiction issues is they're afraid to say it. They're afraid to say, I have a problem with this, or I have a problem with that.
No one wants to admit,
because all of a sudden you feel like you're going to be labeled
or judged,
judged, and it's not accepted. The truth is, you just want help. So I think it doesn't make you a bad person if you like cocaine more than alcohol.
No, and actually,
I mean, it's better. Okay.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's way better. I mean, give me a break.
I used to like cocaine way more than I like that. I never was I'm still not a huge alcohol drinker.
I haven't really been drinking that much, as you know, and it's so strange for me because I've really turned a corner on even liking the shit. I didn't even really like it anymore.
Right.
Which is weird, because I've done all these things, but that book really kicked. That was incredible.
And what's the book again?
The Naked Mind.
Right. We've talked about
that.
It
was something that really helped me. But even lately, I've been like, all right, I'm going to try. I can't even drink a glass of wine. I can't drink a full drink. I've tried whiskey. The only thing I've been able to get the whole thing down was a beer.